So the big question is this: how do small businesses like yours, who feel like you're doing all the right things and going to all the right events, reach the federal buyer in a way that helps you win more contracts? That is the question, and this is the place to get your answers. My name is Neil McDonnell. Welcome to the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. Okay, let's get started. I'm excited again to share a quick tip. It feels like I'm always excited because the tips I share with you are coming from day-to-day activity that I have. So today I want to talk to you about how do you identify, again, how do you start looking for potential teaming partners that you can subcontract under as you're trying to get into a new agency, or if you're new to the federal government space, but you're an expert in a particular area, how do you get into those companies, or how do you even find them? So I'm going to give you a tip related to cybersecurity. I was talking with a small business this morning, and they were asking my advice. They said, okay, we took all your DSBS advice, got our DSBS and our website, our capability statement lined up so we can go have a conversation with some of these intro marketing tools. What do we do next? How do we sit there and find companies that we can work with and tell them how great we are in cybersecurity? And this is a company that has 4 partners who all are cyber experts, and they've come together and are moving forward into the federal sector. So anyways, I recommended obviously Subcontract. And here was something that I wanted to share that's a path that they could follow as well. I gave them some tips, but now I'm going to actually point them to this video with another tip that I think is a pretty good tip. So for another meeting I'm having later today with somebody who's in this DoD software space, I'm talking with a person who's got a lot of experience on the government side. Hopefully I'll be able to get some tips and share them out. But most importantly, in preparation of that meeting, I was watching this meeting with Nicholas Chaillan on, and this guy's kind of Mr. Software, right, in the Air Force and really even in DoD. And I was watching this video. I've seen this before and I've watched it a little bit, but this time in preparation of my meeting, I'm watching it a lot. And if I do a quick sidebar, it's really important that you watch this. If you're in the software side, DevSecOps, anything with IT, you should be watching this video. I'm not in that business. I help some companies that are, but I'm coming out of this with a ton of software and DevSecOps knowledge that I don't really need in my head, but it's there because I'm watching this. So I highly encourage you to do it, because in this 145-minute video, he just explains a ton. And if I can make my 7-year-old sit near me and watch it as well, then I think you can do it if you're trying to make millions off the federal government. Anyways, sidebar over. Okay, so I was watching this video, and somewhere along this mark, 20 minutes in, where's 20 minutes in? 20 minutes in, right here. He starts talking about these BOAs that are out there. And the reason this is important for me to point this out is these BOAs are an agreement between the government and contractors. There's no ceiling to them. It's just saying, okay, we're going to work. But there's 3 basic ordering agreements, BOAs, with these 27 companies for the first one, 9 for the second, and 19 for the third. And when I saw this, I realized, well, for me, if I was in this space as a subcontractor, I would begin to try to knock on these folks' doors. And keep in mind, I'm not knocking on their door to say, hey, I'm a woman-owned or a veteran-owned business. Can I have a piece of the pie? No, I'm going in saying, hey, I'm a cyber expert, or I'm a DevSecOps expert. Could we talk? Could I begin to figure out where there might be a spot for me to help you guys with your government customer? So anyways, just showing you the process. I came out of this slide, just went to Google and did my search. I tried a couple of searches, it got too much. And finally, I typed in basic awardee, ordering agreement awardee. And when I put awardee in, down here, I found this link, the platform one, which is really funny to me because I've actually seen this deck before. I think I saw it last week when I was doing something else, or maybe even earlier this week. And so this person here, I've read what they've done, but I didn't put it together with this tip. Long story short, you start scrolling down to see what's in here. And here they just talk about what a BOA is. But what I wanted was right here. It confirms that it's the right place I want to be, right? The 3 different BOAs and the companies that are on there. And right here, it gives me the names of the companies. So I work with, different companies. I work with hundreds and hundreds of companies for free. Call me up, ask me a question. I don't care. I'll help you if I can help you. And then there's a couple who I help. And when I looked at this, I'm like, wow, there's, Worldwide Technology and GDIT and some of these others. I know these companies and I know people who have relationships so they can get in there. They should be talking to these companies about this BOA, not just general stuff. But for a newer business, what I would recommend is first try to look at these and go, are any of these small businesses? When I look at Alaska North Star Resource, it makes me feel like that might be an ANC. Are they open to it? Anyways, it's your job to look in here and see who these folks are and whether there's a spot to fit. Coming down, you'll see the same thing down here. So if you're in the AWS side, here's Amazon Web Services. You can figure out how to reach out to them. Maybe they can make some introductions. And then down here is the last group. And so here, SAIC wasn't on the top one, but I see them down here, and I know companies that have very tight relationships with them, but perhaps aren't talking to them about the BOAs inside of the Air Force that we were just looking at. So you can watch other videos where I show you, now that you have a company name and the title like Software DevSecOps Services, how do you move forward and get into that company? How do you have those conversations? I have other videos out there that talk exactly about that. How do you have the cold call? How do you make sure you're preparing for it and you're not knocking on the door as a car salesperson, but instead you're knocking on the door as a subject matter expert that could help these people shine better to their customers. Because remember, SAIC is right here, but they're one of 19 competitors. So anyways, that was a quick tip for how do you move from a video where you see some of these folks and get the name of the companies that are out there that you might be able to knock on their door. I hope you found that tip valuable. I'm sure others will, so give it a thumbs up so they can find it. If you'd like to connect with me personally, do so on LinkedIn. We often do free training webinars and interview federal buyers. In fact, one of the training webinars / courses is that whole cold calling. How do I do what I just described a minute ago? And you can find that online. Go ahead and sign up for the GovCon Chamber's email list to be notified about these opportunities as they come out right here at govconchamber.com. And then finally, please consider becoming a sustaining member of the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. Help us keep bringing you great content like this for $1 a day. I'm Neil McDonnell, wishing you great success.